I think a lot of people, when they think to themselves they need to get sponsors, they generally think, well, let's create, 3 packages that are very generic with, one being, they got logo placement, and then, the second package will, maybe have a banner, and then the third one, maybe they'll have like stage placement or just booth activation. And I think that if the real way to get a sponsor to give you what you want is to really think of what they need in their business. You kind of want to turn the table around. Instead of saying, I need $1 million, you want to think to yourself, well, if I need $1 million from this sponsor, what can I do for them that's gonna make them think or show them that I'm giving them a return in their investment? Because that's ultimately what they want. Is they want to give you something. They want to gain more than they're giving you, right? So you want to get creative. You kind of want to put those packages to the side and look at that business and think to yourself, what like gaps are missing in their business that I can help them with? And in those areas that need help, is there a way I can tie that into my event, which will in turn help fill that gap? So I think by turning the table around, instead of saying what can I get, how much with the money that you need, well, what can I do for them? You're almost in turn. You want to think of yourself as a marketing agency at that point. Like, how can I market their business? How can I help their business? Because if you go in the door and you just say, hey, I need this money, and I'll let you put your logo on a flyer or a banner, at the front door, that really only gets you so far. But if you go in and you get creative and you really understand their business, you'll have greater results, rather than just a very simple, basic kind of cookie cutter sponsorship package that you can kind of look up anywhere on the internet. I think it's really it comes down to who's the crowd at that festival, what type of crowd, what's expected attendance, is there a track record of a good attendance? These are all things that a sponsor wants to know, is who's going to be there. And the best way to really do that is to gather data, to gather, if you're gonna go after, say a shoe company, right? And they create athletic shoes, right? That's what they sell. So you basically want to find an event. If you're creating the sponsorship package for another event, you want to find an event that has that audience. You really want to connect the two.